Nation. Welcome into another episode of the Renegade Rundown with yours truly, Renegade Report 1 on X. I've got my beautiful and amazing co-host, as always, Jen NOLE 2013 at Jen Santee 1890. You can find her on X and right here on the Renegade Rundown 3 times a week, as well as Monday on the Renegade Roast with Tiny Hat CEO. You can find him on X as well at Ender Pope. And if you're on X, we really appreciate everybody joining us here as we react to Gregory Zae Thomas commit from American Heritage High School. He's down to between Clemson and Florida State. Of course, the connection there with Patrick Surtain on the coaching staff, a guy that we've quote unquote crystal trophied to Florida State. Our in-house prediction there. The next co-host, Deshawn Adams, he's on X as well, at Deshawn Adams 18, but he also has a YouTube program similar to what we do here. Just to let them know the at on those real quick before we move on.
Yes, it's Double D's Let's Talk Ball podcast, and also you can see us on D's Corner, DSCORNER, D's Corner.
Bam, you heard it there. So definitely check out what we have going on over there. I laid out that we're waiting on the big news to hear about Gregory Zae Thomas, who would be the 9th blue chip commitment in a row for Florida State. Florida State currently sitting at number 9 in the On3 industry rankings with only 8 commits. It was pretty amazing. You look back at the past 4 classes since Mike Norvell's been here. 3 of them, like 8 was the max. That was more as many blue chips in the entire class up until last year. We turned around and signed 16 just in high school, 26 if you count blue chips from the transfer portal as well, which we do here at the Renegade Rundown. How did we get to that 8 number? Well, the last we spoke to you guys, we were at 7, but we got a commitment from a 4-star tight end in Chase Loftin, which is big time. We got to see Tramell Jones Jr. go live on Den Media Group with our good friend James Coleman and Chris Frazier of Spear Addicts over on Den Media Group last night, officially locking it down along with Javion Hilson and Solomon Thomas. 3 like extremely kind of bulwarks of the class, all blue chips. Tramell maybe not quite to the level of those 2 guys as far as recruiting rankings, but as quarterback 1, it gets no bigger than that. It gets no bigger than that. We've got Micheal Alfords like dropping bat signals on the timeline. Rumors abound. The ACC's doom. We've been talking about, people make fun of me. You've been saying it's imminent for 6 months. Well, when it's something that's going on for 30 years, the last 15 years of it that has been effed up and you've been ready to get the hell out, especially the last 10, and then you get snubbed and all the things that's going on. Yeah, it's imminent. What's going on is imminent. And when your AD is dropping bat signals and stuff like that, you're dropping bags on the recruiting trail. You've got research things getting built up. Your stadium's literally under construction. Shit's happening. So we'll definitely talk about that a little bit later. But remind me if I'm missing anything. How's it going, Jenna? What's on your mind as we sit here and wait on Zae Thomas's commitment one way or the other?
Well, I did get a question that asked if this was a Ricky Knight shirt in the chat. So I want to say, yes, it is. It absolutely is. Please go to his NIL page and go pick up a shirt. Please, 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 please. This kid, I love this kid. So please go pick it up. That's what I have to say.
Beautiful. Yeah, she's always rocking the Seminoles gear to get some kind of branded NIL. That's the beauty of this new era. I got my Jordan Travis shirt. I need to get me one of those Ricky Knight shirts there for Night 6 Ricky, as he's known on social media. How are we feeling, Deshawn? I know, we talked a lot. I know you're pumped about the Chase Loftin commitment. We've got everything with Zae. What's on your mind, my man?
Not much, man. Just ready to get this commitment going. I do believe that it is going to be for the good guys, as they say. High on it. He's a Seminole in many ways, more than just his commitment, and excited about the prospect of him being a defensive player for us, corner or safety. I'm excited about the commitment we got yesterday. I'm excited about the commitments that's coming. That's how I feel. It's just gonna be a week of fireworks, man, and I'm excited for it.
Oh, without a doubt. I got to answer this question real quick in the chat. Somebody, actually 2 or 3 people are asking if Knight is a DB. Yes, Ricky Knight is a DB. Probably the slot, if I had to guess, he'll come in, but he's one of these guys out of the freshman class out like along with Cam Davis on offense. He's one of those guys you could expect that could possibly make some noise early, especially with Greedy Vance Jr. Hitting the portal like he did. So yeah, definitely a defensive back. Maybe play outside later on in his career, but I think you could see him in the slot this year. You saw him lock down guys like Jeremiah Smith and Joe Shiza Trader, I believe, both in a playoff game when he got lined up against him. It's not like you follow him around the field, but when you play a team with two guys like that, it's pretty amazing to shut those guys down. But yeah, Zae Thomas is no slouch as well out there at American Heritage, and should be committing any time now. The kind of estimate we got all day is that he would be committing like literally right now, 8:40 Eastern. So we'll definitely have an answer for you on that. But this is an important commitment. We've talked a lot about the defensive backboard for Florida State this year, aka DBU. They signed 5-6 guys last year. Whether or not we get this guy, okay, I just about got tricked. Almost made a false announcement there. But whether or not we land Zae Thomas here momentarily, that could decide who we grab, I guess, the rest of the defensive back rooms. We were talking about it just off air. We found out Max Redmond will be committing on July 9th. We still don't have a date yet on Ladarian Clarity, a.k.a. Squirrel, out of Pensacola. I don't think we have a date on Booby, or maybe he did just come out with a date there for Booby, Javori Antone, the recent LSU decommit. I don't think we take all 4 or 5 guys. So personally, looking at this, if we get Zae right now, I would tell you probably don't get Max Redmond on July 9th. But if you do, if you don't get Zae, then you do grab Max Redmond. How are y'all feel about that?
Go ahead, Jan.
I mean, I think you're going to get Zae tonight. So I think that if you don't, yes, you are going to get Max Redmond. That is what I would say. But I do think you're going to get Zae tonight.
Yeah, I believe so. Like I've already stated, I know that there was a commitment earlier from a prospect that committed to Notre Dame that did visit on campus, in Jadon Blair. But I know he was in the fold, but I don't know how hard the push was, as far as trying to get a commitment with such a huge board and low numbers, that we're not taking a high volume of defensive backs this year. So I'm locked in on Zae. I really do think he's going to commit.
Yeah, he's got us kind of an awkward thing here. It's like time. The hats are on the table. Sorry we don't have it live, but you guys, if you've ever seen one of these Instagram commitment ceremonies, it's pretty tough, hard to predict. Sometimes they go on for an hour and a half. So we tried to time it just right with you guys, so we could celebrate and everything. But yeah, I think we're kind of all in agreement. Max Redmond, I believe he's a 3-star. He could be a 4-star on some different services. But when you look across the board, it's not a big year. Like the reason Ladarian Clarity gets this offer this year, as much as I love him, is because of kind of the limited amount of DBs this year. He's a little shorter than Pat Surtain usually goes to. He has the type. He wants his corner 6'1", 6'2", and he wants his safeties to be like 6'2" and up. You see guys like Ashlyn Barker that came in, who's 6'3", 6'4". So we really love that length out there. But if you are an athlete, if you're like Squirrel, who's just an absolute freak, you will get an offer, as you saw kind of a little bit later in the process. But he picks up an offer as he moves up the board, and a guy that I personally just really, really want on the team. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens here, and then we'll see what happens with Redmond on the 9th. Tomorrow we have a linebacker committing as well. We went kind of back and forth on this one, been really confident, heard from some sources, reasons to be confident. So really 2 linebackers actually committing tomorrow on July 1st. We have Zadrius Rainey-Sale and Gavin Nix. Gavin Nix is a guy that Florida State spent a bunch of time on, but really looking like a Miami lean, with Zadrius Rainey-Sale looking like a Florida State kid, the kid from up towards Washington. And that being one of the kind of pieces of competition. I believe he already decommitted from Washington at some point. But how are you feeling on Rainey-Sale?
I'm actually feeling a little bit more confident. I know we discussed back and forth about the distance situation, but it could be it could actually work out in our favor. I just put it that way. I went from from 5 out of 10 to probably about 7 now. It's going to be interesting to see. There's still that factor, but I don't think this is as big of a factor as assumed earlier.
Glad to hear it, man. As long as mama's happy,
Yeah.
and the kid is sold, the bag is right, all those things, get him down here. You got Tavian Wallace committing the very next day. There's always going to be smoke around a top recruit like that. But if you could get, a 4-star and pretty much a 5-star linebacker, I'm going to keep saying that because I think it's going to come true as he's just broken into like the top 40. Yeah, Tavian Wallace, Adrius Rainey Sale, I'd be pumped. But what are we looking at here? Are we looking at the live commitment ceremony?
Yes, this is. I don't know if I can get the audio right, but this is the live.
Well, you can try. Just if it doesn't work, it don't work.
Okay.
But you can try to turn it on.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're just waiting. He is talking to the crowd, giving us some sweet ovations as we sit here and wait to see which cap he picks up. Not many caps on the table, but again, this is at the Seminole Hard Rock Casino. If that tells you anything, I don't know. Miami seems to think it's their home football team, but
hold on, we got a commitment here. Oh, he went to Clemson.
Oh, no! No double D. He's not throwing it.
Okay.
Clemson Tigers.
No, it's Florida State.
What are you doing to me, Deshawn?
No, I thought you saw it. He put the hat on, the Clemson hat.
Florida State, baby.
It's Florida State.
Florida State Seminoles grab Gregory Zae Thomas as he pulls off the old hat trick. He gets George. We're going to have to clip my face whenever Deshawn says Clemson. Because I'm just like, what the fuck? I'm getting ready to call some jokers and be like, you told me. No, look. Clemson, Dabo Swinney, they do their thing. They don't use the portal and things like that. But bam, you grab Zae Thomas. Just another blue chip commitment to go along with the rest of them. Brings Florida State probably, I don't know if he bumps you up how many spots or not in the On3 rankings, but it probably brings your average up, as I believe, as far as the 4-star. I believe he's a little bit higher on the totem pole than Chase Loftin. I made a comment on Twitter when Chase Loftin commits. You have a badass average when a 4-star tight end brings your average down. So now maybe we can get that up a couple more points with another 4-star in safety, Gregory Zae Thomas out of American Heritage High School, a place that Patrick Surtain is no. I always want to say junior. It's Patrick Surtain Senior, but yeah, he's got a big history there. Florida State, I won't say they went out on a limb because there's a lot of people that tossed around putting him as a, on the field coach and things like that. He had more opportunities with the NFL and stuff, but his first DB coach job at the D1 level, and he comes out and has a top 3 unit in the nation of DBs on the field for a playoff squad. Fuck what anybody has to say about it. Excuse my language. But that he turns around and, in my opinion, signs the best DB class in the nation, even without KJ Bolden. You have 4 or 5 blue chip recruits that are all going to be studs. And here he is getting it started in 2024 with Gregory Zae Thomas, a long, sturdy cornerback at a place that he knows all about. How are we feeling, guys? Y'all go first, whoever's. I got my rant off there. Deshawn has my freaking blood pressure through the roof. I'm streaming off my phone, so I can't really. That's what I use for a camera, and so I couldn't really tell. So I was just like, what is it? What is it?
Well, what I will say is based off of a certain message board that we may discuss tomorrow, considering that, Mario is going to be the new Dabo, I think that Dabo is going to hurt on this one. I think this one's going to hurt for Dabo. You know what I mean? I think it does. I think this one's going to hurt.
There is no backup option. If you fuck up, I got to stop cursing. I know we got a lot of people on here. I'm not just a sailor, but if you mess up at Clemson and you don't get your top 2 targets at safety, cornerback, DB, whatever the case may be, you can't go grab somebody out of the portal. That's not an option for that defensive back coach. And we heard from Dabo himself that all 9 of his assistants came to him and said, Dabo, we don't want nobody. We won't take nobody from the portal if you gave them to us. But how are you feeling about this, Deshawn?
Oh, I'm excited, man. You got a guy that's going to be able to bring versatility to the room. Once again, it fits all the mold, long arms, big body, legitimately 6'2", 195, 180, 185, 190. He can play safety, corner. It's going to be interesting to see how they mold him and develop him coming along. Like you said, he has a background. He is actually of Seminole heritage. So he, as he stated, I'm coming home. I'm already home. I'm just excited, man. This is just keep kicking off the week. Just keep
Man,
kicking off the week, man.
I'll tell you what, I'm happy for the people that were live that got to examine a little bit of my freak out there. Cause like, guys, we do this. We are Florida State fans. We love this university. Like, you know what I mean? We try to be, especially myself, I try to be journalistic, give you the best analysis. I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass. It's not what we do. We'd have to go back and see the different predictions we put in and see what our percentage is. But it's pretty good. We've got 3 or 4 out of the ones we already laid out the other night, and a couple extra or one extra. So it's been pretty fun so far. We were talking a little bit earlier. I guess we can circle back here before we move on. Does this mean you guys, are we all in agreement that, you know, Max Redmond is probably off the board, or do you think, you know, it's kind of one of those things where you get 2 of either Booby, Squirrel, or Redmond? That's kind of how I feel about it. You get 2 of the 3, but you're not going to sign all 3.
No. In my opinion, I think they take at least 3. And he's one. You go after Bootsy, out of Bootsy, and then you still got what, Conan Banny on the board. You see what I'm saying? So it's still
Oh my gosh, yeah. See, so I
you still
totally
got
forgot about
Snowfall on the
Snowfall.
board. So they could
Yes,
they could surprise us
that's
and maybe
fine.
take 4 tops. But in my opinion, they don't go no further than 3. That's just my opinion. But I think it could surprise. Now, I'm not going to pass up on Boosie if he's available, and I have Clarity, Zay, and let's just say Redmond, you know, just for kicks, or Conan Banny. You know, you're gonna take Boosie regardless. So somebody will probably be phased out or choose elsewhere. So, but I like the room. I like the net that they cast. And
So
DB's not a problem.
again, guys, if you're unacquainted, if you haven't been hanging out with us, if you don't follow recruiting too much till like this time when the commits start happening, the DBs have a lot of nicknames going on this time. So again, with Darian Clarity out of Pensacola, his nickname is Squirrel. Booby is Jabori Antone out of LSU, or LSU decommitment out of New Iberia, Louisiana. And then Snowfall is Onis Conan Banny, a young man that's playing football in Florida, but I believe is originally from across the pond. So Spear Addicts comes through as if reading our mind, or has just been hanging out with us for a little bit. He says, how bad does everyone want to know how many DBs are getting took? So just go ahead and let us know so we can figure this math out. Chris, I've been hearing 2 or 3, but now we've got 5 or 6 on the board that could pop. So how many are we going to sign, Chris? You'll have to tell us, and I'll definitely look into that. And we definitely don't mind clarifying on all the nicknames and things like that. We have a lot of fun with it here at the Renegade Rundown. We talked a little bit about who's next. Zadrius Rainey Sale tomorrow, along with Gavin Nix committing. I said that I think we get Sale. I've made that prediction. I think I won't put any words in anybody's mouth, but a lot of other Florida State people have made commitments. I can't even remember if y'all specified, but let's start with Deshawn and go around. What's your prediction? Do we get Sale tomorrow?
Yeah, I think we do. I think we get him. My confidence level, as I've already stated, has gone up. So I do think that we do get him.
Okay, Jen?
So I wasn't confident on Friday, but today after talking to somebody, I am.
Boom. So there you go. Jen's on board. We got another 3 for 3 like we have with Myron Charles, Gregory Zae Thomas. The next guy we're going to talk about, Tavion Wallace. But I do want to say here, Spear Addict says 4. He's telling us 4 DBs will get taken by Florida State. So that goes to tell you, that makes it pretty easy. You pretty much go for everybody. And you know, one of those guys is going to get left out. Right now, my money is on Max Redmond. I think that feeling is pretty mutual here across the board. I think it'd probably be either Redmond or Antone, because maybe you don't get Jabori Antone Booby. Maybe you miss on him. Maybe you decide to go back to LSU. With Redmond, I think it's maybe you choose not to. Or maybe you get him because you missed out on one of the other guys. I think it's the same with Clarity. I think Clarity, if you really put forth, he's a NOLE. No, it's not because he doesn't have offers everywhere else. Just, the panhandle and things like that. it really makes sense. Unless anybody disagrees or has something else to get off there, we'll move on to talk about Wallace for a second.
Nothing.
Nope, I'm good.
Yeah. So Tavion Wallace, July 2nd. As soon as I heard that date, I was already like a 6 or 7 out of 10 on him. Randy Shannon's heard all this talk at linebacker. Well, why can't you get a good linebacker? You coach him up, but all we get is, one transfer. We don't get any blue chips. Like, great, you can turn a 3-star into that, but how about let's get something in there? I've been one of them, especially a couple of years ago. I really laid off for about the past year. I've been a Randy Shannon. I've been, cheering for him. But, I had questions in 2022 going into 2023. I was like, not every linebacker has to be 6'1", 210. That was my thing. I'm not going to back off it. I said it over and over again. But fast forwarding a year and a half, 2 years, and it looks like 6'1", 210, 6'1", 220, 6'2", 230. Like, that is the stereotypical linebacker. It's where football has went, especially that inside linebacker type deal. And all of a sudden, the dudes that were 3-stars in previous classes and this and that, it's just right up his, it's right up Randy's alley. So Shannon, if he can pull Wallace, if he can pull his Adrius Randy Sale back to back, I'll be over the moon, and you'll have a really, really tough linebacker class. And in this 4-2-5 era, even though we will play, some different stuff with some, extra down linemen and things like that, the majority of the time it's 2 linebackers on the field with the teams we play. That's all you need. That's plenty of linebackers. So that would be huge if we can get those next 2 guys, and then we'll get back to maybe recruiting at the end. But comments on Tavion Wallace before we move on to the bat symbol from Michael.
I'm 9 out of 10. High. I think that's a lockdown. I just really do. I just think the relationships with him, with where he's at right now, I think
that would be the 11th commit. If Sale goes and then and Tavion Wallace goes, we'll be at our 11th blue chip in a row commitment without anything else. You know how awesome that is? We'll probably be, I don't know, 7th on 3. We'll probably be like cracking the top 10 on 247. Like, it's pretty unreal. Then you turn around and Peyton Joseph is July 4th. Hollis Davidson is July 4th. Maybe that's your first non-blue chip commit. And Hollis Davidson, a guy who should be a 4-star by all means. I think it's crazy he's not a 4-star, but that's just me speaking. But anyways, long story short, we'll let Jen speak first on this one, because I think when it comes to sources and things like that, this subject, she has the best sources of anybody by a pretty good bit, relationships and things of that nature. But Micheal Alfords, our good friend, he came to see us at the tailgate that MFTK, Den Media Group, Spear Addicts, Dope Talk, the CJ Wilson, Chris Frazier, James Coleman, Garnett, and over there. He came to our tailgate. That was really awesome. Me and Jen got to meet him at the Battle's End, kind of pep rally there at the Moon, the famous Moon there in Tallahassee the day before the game. Just one of the best guys out there. He dropped was it just the kebab symbol, or was it a Seminole arrow? Long story short, he just dropped an emoji pretty much. Just one of those, what do we call those, vague tweet season?
It was a kebab. It was a kebab emoji.
So speculation run rampant. With today being the final day that the ACC exists as 14 schools in Notre Dame, the ACC posted a meme, if you will, a poster celebrating the fact they are about to be 18, and it got eaten alive on social media. I retweeted it and like, what are you dummies doing? You might as well get the post ready for when it drops down to 16 or 15 again. But what are we thinking? How did you feel when you saw that? We'll get into the deeper stuff, but just first feelings of everybody. Jen, where were you at when you saw that, and where did it take your mind?
Well, I think the emoji says a lot more than it doesn't say. And I also think when you compare it to some other things that went on, I think you can read the tea leaves there. There is a meeting or something's going to happen in July. And if you guys don't believe me, go listen to Josh Pate. Go listen to Josh Pate. He dropped it today too. I don't think this had anything to do with Link Jarrett. And I would say that it could be something big happening. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned that or not. Link Jarrett news surface that he will be receiving like an 8 or 9 year extension after going 49 deep, 49 wins, makes it to the Final Four, tied for third place there with Florida. As Tennessee, who beat Florida State, would go on to win the College World Series. I'm ready to go off and go on a rant, but how are we feeling on the whole bat signal, ACC getting the hell out of Dodge?
One more thing, just one more thing. What I would say is if it was about Link Jarrett, the link would be in the tweet. You know what I mean? Like, this was vague for a reason. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. And just to be clear, we talked about it in the pre-meeting, and yes, Jen does have connections and all. Sporadic says we don't have to announce publicly yet. So yeah, Jen, there's no reason to burn any sources. Yeah, we're good. We're not like loaded. We're not all high on Kool-Aid from the Gregory Zae Thomas commitment, but no, we're gonna have fun talking about it. There's been all the rampant speculation, but yeah, definitely not Link Jarrett. It just wouldn't make sense for that to be that. I think with the date, with the graphic, with everything going on, we can just move from that, and we can just talk a little bit about ACC or the ACC getting out of, or Florida State getting out of the ACC business, if you will, as I try to dodge the logo up there. It's kind of a game we play whenever I put super chats up. We like to have fun with you guys. But GC interrupts me with a $9.54 super chat. We really appreciate you guys. Mr. GC or Mrs. GC or they GC, back to Broward for a big time DB. Thanks for the best coverage. And no problem, man. We will give you the best coverage that we possibly can, as often as we can with our friends, my friends, Jen and Deshawn and Tiny Hat on Mondays. And if you don't get enough from us, you can also go and check out Spear Addicts, Den Media Group. You can check out the Voice of College Football, Garnet and Old, Plant the Spear. I like to call it New Era Media. Chris calls it New Age Media. We just, we're a bunch of guys. We really love Florida State football, and we love our team, but we also believe in not blowing smoke up your ass or reporting lies or things that aren't true, fantasy, things of that nature. This channel's only been around since December of 2022, only really started this actual show, the Renegade Rundown, in August of last year. But I think our track record speaks for itself when we give you something we're confident on, or try to hint towards something, or tell you exactly what something's going to be with confidence. 9 times out of 10 is usually right, and especially if Jen says it is and I argue with her, then it's guaranteed to just listen to what Jen says.
That's true.
But, anyways,
that's very true.
Yeah, Chris saying he wasn't saying that we didn't have to say it, but the university doesn't have to publicly announce it. But if y'all know me, I'm going to take my chance to talk a little shit, to make a joke out of something. I just can't. I can't help. Jen says she knows. But what are your feelings overall? Where do you think we stand with the June 30th date, with tomorrow, as we look into 18 teams? Is there a chance possibly that adding SMU and the other teams officially on the books triggers something, whether it's that composition clause? What happens here?
Asking you, Jen.
Yeah, that's for Jen.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead and repeat that, because you were fluttering out and I couldn't hear you. Sorry. Okay.
No, just how do you feel with it being June 30th? And, obviously all the tweets, the vague tweets included. Tomorrow we find out that we go up to 18. They add the 3 new teams and all that. How do you is there a chance that it activates something? Does that speed up FSU getting out of the ACC? Where are you at on that?
I do think it does speed it up. And I think that, I don't know. Let's, oh God, what's today? Sunday. Let's bring this back up on Tuesday. I think we might have something to talk about. Is what I would say.
Well, I feel you, but for the sake of conversation, we're going to talk about it on Sunday. Deshawn, how are you feeling, brother? I'll do my rant next, but feel free to unload, as we have 843 people here live waiting on our words.
Well, I stand on an agreement with a lot of our YouTube brethren. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
When I say this respectfully, we're gonna be out this bitch regardless. So
Yep.
I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, we're gonna be out of this bitch like a hard dick in sweatpants. I shit you not. Boy, we're gonna be out of here, boy. Yeah. Somebody asking if anybody committed today. Yes, yes. If you are just joining us, Gregory Zae Thomas, 6'2", about 200-pound defensive back out of American Heritage, commits to Florida State over the Clemson Tigers. It was just a top 2, so it was real personal. Did the hat trick and everything. So we're fired up. But right now we're talking about FSU getting the hell out of Dodge, getting out of the ACC. And I'll tell you what grinds my gears. I'll tell you what has really kind of pissed me off here as of late. We talked a little bit about the Big 12 cult. Jen and them roasted them. I went back and forth with some different people on Twitter. But besides just thinking they're a power conference and all these things, and that they deserve to be in the same conversations with these different places, that they don't. They also think that since they're a power constitution, their power conference, that they could attract the likes of a Florida State or a Clemson, or that is the ultimate goal. That's where Florida State is going to end up. I've even heard some folks in the YouTube ether, North Carolina and Virginia and teams like that, or North Carolina and Notre Dame, more valuable to the Big Ten. That's who they want. They don't want Florida State. And also the SEC. The SEC wants those teams more too. Or at least Notre Dame, or at least
North Carolina.
North Carolina, not Notre Dame. It just really gets on my nerves. We've talked about the reasonings a million ways from Sunday, and I'll just say something along the lines of what I tweeted. If legitimately there's the president, a board, whatever the case may be at the Big Ten, and they're looking at the map of the country, they're looking at the Southeast, and they're like, man, 3 teams here: Florida State, Clemson, and North Carolina. Which one do we want? Which one would help us out? Which one would make us more money in football? Which one is going to help us get in the playoffs more every year? North Carolina. We're going with North Carolina. Not Clemson, who's won 2 playoffs. Not Florida State, who's currently trending, got snubbed from a playoff, has another national champ. All these things. You could talk TV numbers. We could go through it all. But I think what happens on YouTube, you can say we're guilty of it, but we just really care about Florida State. So we give you the hard or the good, bad, and ugly. We're just going to tell you how it is. If we tell you lies, you're not going to come back. If we tell you everybody's going to commit, none of them do, or none of them are, and not all of them do, you're going to laugh at us. We're going to be memes on the internet. That's what happens. But guys on the other channel, it's like they start playing to the audience. Who is showing up and what do they like to hear about? And who is their team and who do they like to hate on? And that's where it goes with a lot of this stuff. So yeah, just had to get that across. No, Florida State is not going to the Big 12.
No.
Another thing that people, they like to act like somebody is out there in FSU media, somebody that's respected, saying that there's a written invitation from the Big Ten. It's, it's just waiting to be signed, or it's already be signed, just ready to be publicized. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what Chris is saying. James has said anybody that we deal with, nobody that's part of the New Era media that I talked about that reported that. It's just that, whether it be a meeting at a steakhouse or a conversation on a burner, whatever the case
Third party.
there is some sort of community. It is known that Fox and the Big Ten both want Florida State. There is an attraction there. There was an Instagram like on a booty picture of something, Florida State and Big Ten. It's just no. There doesn't have to be something written. And if saying what we say implies that we're saying that, well, then you saying that the Big Ten is after North Carolina and Notre Dame, it's the same thing. You must be implying that they have a written invitation. So that's how that works. I'll leave that at that. And if there's any more y'all have, feel free to take off with the rants. But that's my little thing on ACC. To the Big Ten, y'all. It's ACC to the Big Ten. And tomorrow when it hits 18, maybe that composition clause pops something. That's my conspiracy theory, but I digress. Sorry.
Can I say one thing? Here's what I would say. I would say that Florida State has a better chance of starting a new conference out of like teams that are than joining the Big 12. That's what I'm saying. I don't think that's ever going to happen. The Big 12 is not on Florida State's radar. Why would they go there? That's ridiculous. They should just stay in the ACC because it's paid. I mean, honestly, with Florida State in the ACC, with Clemson, they are paid more than the Big 12. So why in the world would they then jump over to the Big 12? I mean, that's just insane. It's stupid. It makes no sense. It's called dollars and cents. And I would say that, again, Florida State has a better chance of starting their own conference than joining the Big 12. That's what I would say.
In my opinion, I would just put it like this. The Big 12's administration runs their organization a hell of a lot better than the ACC. But also on that, the Board of Trustees has been playing checkers where everybody else in this legalities has been playing. I've been playing chess over checkers. That's what I'm trying to say. Why would FSU allocate the funds that they've allocated? The moves that they made to join is almost basically a parallel, a parallel jump. You're not making a vertical jump here, moving up to the big boy table. It's not an insult to the Big 12. They're better run than the ACC, but it's just not the destination the university is looking towards. And there's so many things that points that way. So I just see this move going on to the Big 10. It's the next move into greener pastures, and you'll start to see a lot of changes. It's a new sheriff in town.
Facts. And y'all hit the nail on the head. It'd be a lateral move. Better off making some autonomous 3 with Notre Dame and Clemson and some other couple teams or something like that. You'd have a better shot doing that. So yeah, I'm not buying it. And here's the thing too. Florida State and Clemson being in the ACC and bringing it up to a power level, it's just existence right now, in my opinion, is good for the Big 12. It got that thing signed to where we each got a playoff thing. We got our 30% of the money. If it was just the Big 12, the Big 10, and the SEC and the ACC didn't exist, I don't know if the Big 12 even gets the one automatic. I think they're seen as a group of almost immediately at that point. So when you take Florida State and you take Clemson out and maybe in North Carolina and Miami or whoever else, and you add them to the Big 10 or the SEC, you're empowering them more, making the gap bigger. And then whatever you want to feed on the flesh of the ACC or vice versa, or you want to combine, no matter what you look at, the gap becomes bigger and you are lesser and there's one less seat at the table. You don't have the Pac-12 commissioner and the ACC commissioner sitting there next to you going to bat at the college football playoff committee against those teams. So you better believe the playoff contract, the TV contracts, all that shit is going to get redone. It's going to get renegotiated. And as Jen and you both, pointed out, it'd be less money for Florida State government. Well, yeah, Big 12, just get ready. Unless somehow some team, Utah or TCU becomes that national threat that y'all think they are, they won't. They're not even, y'all don't have a single team in the top 20 recruiting, barely one in the top 25 with Utah. It is what it is, fellas. But we can get back to recruiting if y'all want to, or unless there's anything on y'all's mind. Speak now or forever hold your peace. I guess we can move on. I will open up the phone lines. I've been forgetting here till it's so damn late. We're almost 40 minutes into the show. We really appreciate everybody for joining. If you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe over here on YouTube. Please do that. It's huge. Can't tell y'all how huge it is for the channel to help us continue to do this. This is what I do full time, but Deshawn and Jen both have families. Jen is like some corporate killer over in the world. My guy is trying to become a mogul. He's got his own YouTube channel. We're all a family. We want to take care of each other. We want to continue to bring this shit to y'all 4 times a week. 3 shows here that's more serious and so focused just on FSU football, but we have fun. And also the Renegade Roast where they just have fun. We just lean back and talk shit on Monday night. So again, enough of the mushy stuff. It's 850-495-1906. You can call the line with any questions you have for myself, Jen, or Deshawn. Curious on recruiting. I went over and refreshed On3's ranking, but they haven't quite added Zae yet. Oh, yes, they did. So we remain in 9th place, but our total goes up to, well, they do it a little different. 91.150. We're just almost said a bad word. Basically, we're almost tied with Texas A&M, Clemson, Notre Dame. So Texas A&M is at 91.24, and Florida State is at 91.150 according to On3. And for example, Texas A&M has 12 4-stars and 4 3-stars. Clemson has 11 4-stars, 2 3-stars, and Notre Dame has 12 4-stars and 9 3-stars. And Florida State is within half a point of all 4 of those guys from being number 6 in the nation.
And, you know, again, no offense to Mike Elko, but he is not out recruiting Mike Norvell and that staff at the end of the day. No offense. No offense.
No.
That will change.
Not going to change. I agree 100%. And not to beat a dead horse, but if you go look at the 2004 team rankings and you go look, oh shit, and then you start to really, not the high school, but if you look at the combined, the overall, you go down there and you look, where's Florida State? They're at 11, and then in front of him you got Notre Dame, LSU, Auburn, Florida, Miami. And when you look at what each one of these schools got and the averages and things versus what Florida State got, I can make the argument you can flip it all the way up to number 5 of Texas. Miami's at number 6 with 3 5-stars, 17 4-stars, and 22 3-stars. Florida's 15 3-stars. Auburn 17 3-stars. LSU 15. Notre Dame 12. Florida State 14. But how many blue chips did Florida State have? 26. I mean, it wasn't even close. 10 more than Auburn, 4 more than LSU, 7 more than Notre Dame, 8 more than Florida, 9 more than Miami. But those blue chips don't count because they're transfers. But whatever. And we got a transfer here. We got a transfer to the Renegade Report bank account from Mike Bartz, one of the OG members of the channel. Our guy is always in here, always doing the super chats. He says, just wanted to say FSU is the real DBU, not Florida State South, not Poopsville. Go Noles. We love the show as always. Roast Platinum tomorrow, or roast Feinbaum, Feinbaum, that is, please tomorrow.
I gotcha.
That's another one of the guys talking about we won't fit academically in the Big Ten. That mother puncher. How do y'all think we can fit academically? You think we're good enough?
Well, my understanding that whole AAU isn't totally about academics. It's more so research.
It's research.
So it's basically talking head puppet, hand up his ass situation. So it is what it is.
Look, Gargamel is in a bad place right now. Gargamel is very upset. He keeps getting blown off of whatever stand he needs to stand on while he's screeching about Alabama and, worried about where Nick Saban is. Gargamel is very upset, and I get it. He's from Memphis, so I can say this. He went to the University of Tennessee. I'd be angry too if I left Memphis and went to Knoxville. The women look like bears. They do. And the only reason any woman is attractive in Knoxville is because they were imported from Memphis or Mississippi. And so he is just a little upset. It is what it is. His wife might be a little bit overbearing. I didn't say it. I'm not saying anything. He just is angry. Gargamel is just an angry little man. And he's always chasing the Smurfs. He doesn't know what he's doing. And, good luck to Gargamel. But you don't know what you're doing. And honestly, I'm honestly joking with you guys. Look, Paul Feinbaum has no sources on conference realignment. He has 0. He also said they weren't going to take Washington or Oregon. And guess what happened? So I'm over Paul Feinbaum. He really doesn't know anything other than maybe the occasional coaching news, which he usually gets wrong too, because he also said Mike Norvell was going to Alabama. So again, I am... Wake me when he gets something right. That's what I would say.
Jumps with another $5 super chat and asks where you heard that bald head troll Paul Feinbaum says we don't fit in the Big Ten. That would be
it's called ESPN.
Show. Yeah, his propaganda network there. Propaganda network there on ESPN or whether it is the SEC network or whatever the hell it is. Whatever Alabama radio station there. I love you guys, man. We have so much fun here. Looks like we have a question coming in from the chat, or not from the chat, from the text line here. He says, do you think FSU will have a small high school class, 20 players or so this season, or a bigger one, 30 players or so? This is a good question. I would say they're going to have a bigger class than usual than Florida State has had the past couple of years. Maybe not last year, but especially the years before. So we actually did sign quite a few people if you add transfers last year. But I would say closer to 20 than 30. My guess would be 23, 24 guys, could be closer to 22. We'll see. But just the way we operate, Mike Norvell, this staff, they're going to go get the absolute best player available. And as it works out, what they've learned from the portal and these different things is you take 20, 25 guys out of high school and save room for 5 to 10 portal guys, because some elite guys are going to become available. When you lose a senior to the NFL or whatever the case may be, it's better to replace them with a portal guy than a true freshman you bought in, even if he is a 4-star or a 5-star in most cases. Some cases you have a Jalen Ramsey that comes in as just an absolute beast. And things like that nature. But for the most part, you're going to do better filling in with a Braden Fisk or a Finchell Cypress or things of that nature. So, yeah, I would definitely say closer to 20. But we talked about Gregory Zae Thomas. If you're just joining us, that was the big news. That was what we were doing. We were live 40 minutes ago when he made his commitment. He's a Florida State Seminole, but we forgot to show the highlights. I was going to see maybe if Deshawn could pull up his huddle. I'm not sure if he got my message or not. But,
yeah, hold on. You talking about Zay, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
For the people that are just joining,
I just took him
that's
down.
my fault. I should. I don't know why I didn't think about it earlier, but I guess because we were watching the commitment ceremony live. He pulled the hat trick, I believe. Deshawn thought it was Clemson for a moment. I was like, holy shit, just taking it back. I was told this and that, but it is Florida State, the 6'2", 190-pound defensive back out of American Heritage High School, is a NOLE, the 9th blue chip in the class. Just really unbelievable. Florida State was not fourth. They had 4 commits, number 70 and 247's recruiting rankings. People were getting all their trolls off on June 21st, June 22nd. Meanwhile, we were just sitting right back here at the old Renegade Report telling you guys, no worries. We'll have us a good 10, 15 guys here momentarily. You got our podcast pulled up for some reason.
Yeah, I see. Hold on. I think I got something with a chat here. Hold on.
I love this chat. Can I read it while you're doing that?
Yeah.
Pull it up.
All right, let's do it. Let's read this. Young Seminole says, big thanks to Seymour for letting Zay commit. Isn't that amazing?
Absolutely. Well, try not to give too much fame for these people, George. But for those people in the know, yes, very funny that our official, unofficial recruiting
head
coordinator,
of recruiting,
high school relations guy allowed another commit for the Florida State Seminoles.
Isn't that amazing?
It's usually Georgia guys that he does it for, so pretty awesome for him to let a Florida guy try 25.
Sorry, that was just funny. I had to.
I'm bringing it up.
You got to get him in when you can get him in.
Yeah.
Bam. Sorry, guys. The damn super chats are coming in faster than I can even pull them up. As our guy, Little Y and T is him with the $1.99 super chat. I'm right with y'all. F Feinbaum and some laughing emojis. We appreciate you. We appreciate the sentiment because Feinbaum, yeah, fucking man, that troll troglodyte, whatever you want to call it. We came up with all different comparisons for him the other day. Gorgamel. I came up with the pervy teacher off of South Park, the dude with the long nose and the glasses. But Jeff Hill, as we get his highlights up here, guys, you can check out Gregory Zae Thomas, the newest Seminole added to this class. Patrick Surtain doing work, adding the 9th player to the class to the number 9 Florida State Seminoles in the on-through recruiting rankings. But Jeff Hill, $5 super chat says, where you heard, oh, that's a fuck. I already read that. Sorry, guys. This one. Brad Powers, always listen to Jen. Love the show. Jen's best friend, and like way back in the day, friend Brad Powers. We appreciate you for the $9.99 super chat. Again, another one of the OG members since we became monetized. Jen's only been around from since about November, but like as soon as she joined, we were at right about 500. So like the entire monetized history of this thing. Jen has been here, and so has Brad Powers. So appreciate you, bro.
Awesome. Awesome.
And feel free, bro. I know you love watching these highlights and talking football. If you want to give the people a little bit more rundown, or if you have any more thoughts on Zae Thomas or safety, you can get after it, and then we can do our kind of patented run through the rest of the recruits on the board. I can update on the dates and stuff one more time for everybody.
Well, what you see is what you get. Typical Pat Surtain type recruit. He's going to be physical at the point of attack. He's not afraid to come up, stick his nose in the play in the run game, which will allow the transition possibly to safety. Not a guarantee that he'll have to play that position because his size will allow him to fit in at corner. But if you watching the film here, his development will be key if he wants to stay in that position. But I believe he could play either one. I like him a lot, in my opinion, as a safety, a little bit more rangy. His range will allow him to do that. And his fact that he's not afraid of contact, that's the first thing. I just another great get for us, man. And I really think he's a prospect that'll turn into a solid all-around player for us. His frame is kind of like AZ, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I like the sound of that, but you know, I haven't really thought about it. You're right.
Yeah.
Solid 6'2". We'll see if he grows anymore, but really the perfect height for a corner. Like you said, you know, just a prototype of him in this offense. As I try to pull up my list here. One thing we haven't talked about. This will be the perfect place to start off the stuff. So Byron Lewis tweeted out last week when Gregory Zae Thomas dropped his commitment date and time and all that good stuff. He said it's down to Florida State, Clemson, June 30th. Our guy got on there and quote tweeted, said, "Make the move, bro," or something to that effect. If you do it, I'll do it. You jump, I'll jump, something to that effect. Well, he had previously, and everything we've talked, not personally talked to him, but everybody that's talked to him, sources in that thing, things like that have said, you know, this one's probably going to go through September, maybe through the whole season, things of that nature. It's going to be one that goes later. But I mean, that comment is out there. That was his account. He said it. I haven't seen where he's talked to any reporters. I haven't talked to him personally to see if that was a joke or confirming, but Clemson wasn't even an option for him. So that goes to show you right there. He was talking about committing to Florida State. So did Byron Lewis pop tonight, tomorrow, the next day? Did he continue with what the kind of knowledge around the industry was on him? Curious, what do y'all think?
For me, this is like a wait and see for me. I'm just going to be honest, but I do think that our chances of getting him is certainly positive. I just, with this particular recruitment, I'm still just watching because I know that there are other targets also, and he's the key target. Also with what's his name, Osman Chroma, there's another one out of Georgia. But as far as Byron Lewis, I like his film, and I think that we do get him, but I just think it's going to be a little bit more stretched out than what we think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Looks like Jen concurs there.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, you brought up another name, Osman Chroma. I feel like he's kind of been left by the wayside as far as attention. Maybe that's just like a guilty conscience. I know I haven't talked about him a ton. He's one of those guys that was just like, boom, he was there all the time. I feel like, you know, I'm not even gonna say it. I don't want to give up too much as far as that. But Usman Chroma, is he a NOLE? Is he not a NOLE? I'm not sure, but I'm glad you brought him up because I don't think you get more than two backs. But if you could get Byron Lewis and Usman Chroma in this class, I mean, that'd be a knockdown, drag out, one hell of a running back class. I'd be pumped with that. I'm way more confident on Lewis than Chroma, but other people are really, really confident on Chroma. I feel like I really don't know what to think. What do you think, Deshawn?
Yeah, I don't know necessarily what to think. I know the recruitment is solid. You know, we're in there, but you know, when you go the hypothetical, not hypothetical, but the common knowledge and thing that it's said in recruiting right now in today's game is going up against Kirby, or as they call him in some circles, the boogeyman. You're always gonna have to fight with that dog. You know, excuse the pun, but as I've already stated, you know, these are the battles we have to be in. We have to win some, and we have to stay consistent punching at that bag basically to be able to get to the place we want to. There's so many factors that play into that, with getting out of the situation that we're in and getting into better situations, greener pastures. And that plays a part in recruiting, in my opinion, too, because you basically putting, instead of having lipstick on a pig, being in the ACC, we're the pretty girl, but then the rest of the thing is the pig. The rest of the conference, outside of Clemson and a few others, but mostly pigs. You want to get to a better situation, being with a better situation. And basically, I put it this way: if you're a bad bitch, you want to be able to be with the rest of the bad bitches. And you don't want to be with the hags. And it is what it is. It's a few bad
Actually,
there's a few bad bitches in the ACC, and we all know the ones who have put their stamp of approval on themselves, are trying to get out and know their worth. That's what I'm saying. Your worth as a university and as a program, then you don't want to sit here with those who don't value their worth as a program. And I'm referring to a certain program down south, but I'm gonna leave it at that.
Man, you know what I just realized? Zae Thomas, Miami wasn't even in the picture. No. But your boy committed to Florida State at the Seminole Hard Rock Casino. The sponsor of them boys stadium. Oh,
do you mean
think of the troll there from Gregory Zae Thomas? Like, he's already been a Seminole, bro. He loves
do you mean the same as they play their home games at Seminole Hard Rock Stadium?
Yeah, they're away home games. They're home away games. They go on like a staycation for home games.
I love me some staycations, but they're pathetic.
Mike Bartz, man, he comes through with another $10 super chat. He says Feinbaum was on the Alabama booth hold on, excuse me, let me start that over, Mike. Feinbaum was on the Alabama boob till Saban left, and then cried in Kirk's lap. Can't stand that guy. Had to be said, laughing my ass off. Love our Noles. 2K24 Revenge Tour coming soon. So 2K24. Okay. I might get with that. It sounds kind of like the basketball game. But I don't know. 2K24. We'll see. But again, thank you for the super chat, man. We're here at 57 minutes and 36. Y'all know it's on my mind. No, it's too hot for that shit. But anyways, 899 people watching live. Like 700 of those are on Twitter. So we appreciate you guys. But look, if you ever get a chance to click on that little link, you can find on my side, or just get on YouTube at the Renegade Report. If you could just hit that subscribe and like, oh man, can't tell you how pumped we'd be as we try to close in on 2,500 subscribers, maybe this coming week, and maybe 3,000 by the time we get to the season. I'm about ready to close out the conversation, touch on the rest of the recruits. And when they'll be signing, unless there's something I'm forgetting or anything you guys have on your mind.
No, that's it, man. I will ask you one thing, though. Bring up the stage one more time, because this was on the timeline, and our famous Atlanta insider has blessed us.
Oh.
And this is coming from a Gator fan. Cooking one of our certain friends.
Let me see. Oh wait, I can't. Oh God, I'm so blind. I'm sorry.
That's as far as I believe. I can zoom it in a little bit more. I would have to see. It's basically a certain insider.
I think everybody can see it. I just don't know. But just maybe explain the joke for the dumb people.
Okay,
I got it.
Basically, it's being signed off, and we had to get his blessing for this commitment. Basically.
Oh my goodness!
It's because of him.
We love you guys.
And this is a Gator fan that did this. When you got rival fans so tired of what's going on in the timeline that they have to troll, it's
Homeboy has it coming from every direction. When you look like the old heads, the young heads, everybody that's even in your corner, like it is what it is. There was once
that's a good one.
We were friends, but whatever. People want to burn bridges. Whatever.
It makes me think of I'm the best recruiter. I'm the only recruiter. I'm the one who can only make them come to Florida State, right? If I tell them not to go to Florida State and go to Georgia, they're going to go to Georgia, right? That's what that means. Screams to me, which was making me owl laughing.
Oh,
Sorry.
that's funny. I can't wait to see where this goes and where it all goes. We love you guys. This shit's so much fun. Right here on the Renegade Rundown. Of course, we're live every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday, somewhere around 8 Eastern, 7 Eastern. We've been switching it up in the summer because it's so hot, and we've been moving around the times, kind of playing around. But you can catch us Monday or Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday, sometime after 7 Eastern. Also, Mondays at 9:15 Eastern. We've been pretty steady with that. The Renegade Roast, the more just kind of laid back, have fun, kind of like we do in between segments here, but just a whole show of talking shit about all the funny stuff that's happened on the internet between Big Three. And they also pick an ACC team to roast every week, try to get guests and stuff like that. That's with Jen and Tiny Hat CEO. But let's get into it. We'll close off the show. I'll get you guys the rundown on what's left. We've talked about all of these pretty much throughout the show. But just for those that missed some of it, of course, as we've gotten Chase Loftin and now Gregory Zae Thomas back-to-back days, a linebacker or a tight end and a defensive back. Tomorrow, July 1st, Zadrius Rainey Sale, the kid from the Northwest, the 4-star linebacker, will be committing. Everybody here on this panel has predicted him to commit to Florida State. Also, 4-star linebacker Gavin Nix tomorrow, but we think he's going to be a Cane if we had to guess. The next day, July 2nd, is our guy, Tavian Wallace. I think all three of us have also put in a prediction for him. We think he's a NOLE, top 40 player in the nation, just an absolute freak of a linebacker. He would fill out our linebacker class with Xavier. I totally forgot about Ethan Pritchard, but if we land Wallace, Rainey Sale, and Pritchard, that'll be 3 blue chip linebackers in this class, which after not signing a ton of them the past couple years, will be set, at linebacker for several years with a class like that coming in if they can hit. Safety Max Redmond commits on July 9th. We've all kind of concluded that of the 6 guys they're after, they're probably going to sign 4 of them. That was what Chris kind of chimed in with his take or his knowledge on the situation. July 4th, there's a couple of different targets. Offensive lineman Peyton Joseph is choosing between Memphis and Florida State on July 4th. That's the 4th of July, Independence Day, baby. I'm leaning NOLE. Memphis is obviously going to get the biggest bag, put the biggest, you're the star of this class, do all the things to try to get him. But at this point in time, that Florida State recruiting is just moving a little different. Also on July 4th, you get Hollis Davidson. That one, to me, it's between Auburn and Florida State. He was previously committed to Auburn, I believe. But it just comes down to me, kind of like Redmond, how in for it are Florida State, like how high is he on the board? And I do think they really want him. He could possibly be the very first 3-star commit there on July 4th, but we'll see. The next one that I have a date on right in front of me is Josh Petty on August the 12th, which is a little bit down the road. I've reached out to Ladarian Clarity, didn't get an answer back on him if he has a date or is looking to set one. Is there anybody I missed? Anything as far as recruits, targets, possible guys that maybe I'm not talking about or it's anybody's not talking about there in the game?
No, I would say Peyton Joseph is going to go to Florida State. I think that isn't, and I think Memphis knows it, and I do think Memphis does have a big bag for him. And I think we all know, FedEx just really infused that money in there. But I think, I think Peyton Joseph is going to go to Florida State. And again, guys, can we get some T-shirts for Antoine Hill? I have to do it. I have to just continue to just pound it. I have to continue to pound this kid. Like, look, he picked Memphis over Florida as a quarterback. Look, Riverboat Billy lost a quarterback to Memphis. A huge quarterback. Look, I'm sorry. I have to keep doing it. I'm going to do it every night. I'm going to do it every night that I'm on YouTube. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm buying a jersey. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, I'm buying a jersey.
Awesome.
Al Woody says, does it matter if they are inside or outside linebackers? Well, this is a sensitive spot for me. For our offense, we run a 4-2, or our defense, we run a 4-2-5. Within that, you have a Will or a Sam, or they have different terminology, but no, it's just two quote unquote inside linebackers. When you hear linebacker in reference to the 4-4-2-5, that's what you got. You got linebackers with inside responsibility. They've got to do run fits and all those things, but they also have pass coverage that they have to do. When you hear offensive linebacker in the old terminology, outside linebacker, you're thinking of a guy in a 4-3 that would be that third linebacker who is more in the box. He's tackling guys. He's doing things. In a 3-4, you've got four of them. One of them may be more like a defensive end. That's why when Jared Verse goes to the NFL, if he goes to a 3-4, all of a sudden he's an outside linebacker. No, he's not. He was a defense. That's what it is. It does not exist. The outside linebacker does not exist in the 4-2-5. Doesn't the 3-4 and the 4-3, and that's why Florida can sign a linebacker that's 6 whatever 290, because he's really playing defensive end in that scheme, or a linebacker who is just staying in the box, and that's all he does. I'm not the best at scheme, but I think that was a good explanation for that. But yeah, pretty much the linebackers that Florida State are going to be after are inside linebackers, and if they are after an outside linebacker, it's to come in and rush the passer off the edge. Chances are.
Yeah.
I also see some people talking about some names I didn't bring up, and I haven't forgot about those names. It's just that we don't necessarily have a date. You've got Lamont Rogers. I don't have a date on him. Florida State still heavily in the mix for him. A tackle out of Texas, another tackle out of Texas, Ty Haywood. Very, very in it for him. Don't have a specific date on him. Tariq Lockett, another kid. I know he was looking at Texas. Is he from Texas?
Yes, Khalik's from Texas.
So there are three guys out of Texas that Florida State's in for that I don't have dates on, but who's the fourth?
McCutcheon.
Daylon McCutcheon. McCutcheon. That's another one that we don't have a date for, do we? Or did
No,
I
don't
get a date on him today?
Let me see. I don't have one. Actual date.
I think I just have that he had said that he's going to commit in July.
Isn't he? Oh, am I thinking wrong? But isn't he a Miami lean?
No, he's not.
No. Okay.
Florida State lean. Yeah. My latest.
If he leaves the state of Texas, is here. It's Tallahassee.
Wait. Okay. Who was it? Oh, McClendon. I'm sorry. Wait. What was that kid's name that committed to
McCutcheon?
Yeah, McCutcheon is the kid.
Okay.
Yeah, McCutcheon.
Sorry. Too many mix. I'm sorry. And I can say that because I'm half Irish. Okay. I am not being racist or anything. I can say too many mix.
Got away with, they would have thought you said picks to you, like painstakingly explaining that no, it was the racist term. That's not. I don't even know if that counts as racist, but
anything can these days, darling. Anything can
on that. But yeah, I don't think there's a date necessarily. But yeah, definitely watch out for Daylon McCutcheon. I didn't even realize he was from Texas this whole time. But we're at 1 hour and 8 minutes. I'm pretty good with this. Again, Chase Loftin yesterday, Tramell Jones, our beast of a quarterback who just finished in the finals of the Elite 11, shuts his recruitment down. Sorry, Jack. Sorry, Florida. Sorry, everybody who thought he was going there. Everybody that wanted him there. Everybody at Florida that thought you were going to be able to you can take with ours? You gonna take with ours? No, you can go chill out with fucking Dion and his 3 toes. We don't play that bullshit around here. We got quarterback 1 lined up. We got Luke. Then we got my boy Tramell. Then we got my guy Brady Smeagol on deck. On top of 5 blue chip 2025 guys, we land the number 1 quarterback in the nation according to Rivals and Brady Smeagol. So, bam! What a time! What a time to be a freaking Nole, guys.
Yes.
What do y'all got? We can keep going if y'all got something, but I'm out of gas.
I'm out of gas too, man. I'm just excited and ready for the week. It's commitment week, 4th of July. My birthday is coming this week, so hey.
Oh, what day is your birthday?
The 3rd.
The 3rd. So Wednesday?
Yes, the 3rd. Yeah.
Okay. Boom. So we'll have to make sure to wish Deshawn a happy birthday. We'll be on me and Chris and James should be on the Voice of College Football Wednesday. So maybe we can give you a shout out over there. But yeah.
Or we can just sing him happy birthday on Tuesday.
There you go, man. We get it done early. Tuesday, I'm not sure what time Tavion Wallace is committing, but maybe we can work that out where we can do something like we did here tonight with that one. We'll see how it goes. But we love you guys. As always, since we have 957 people in here, hit that like, hit subscribe, give us a big bump, make our heads
Please
swell
do.
up. No, we'll tell you thank you. We love you. It's all by the fans. It's all because of Florida State football, all because of Mike Norvell, Micheal Alfords, all because of my friends Chris Brazier, James Coleman, all the people that's helped me out, all because of Jen for being here the past 6-7 months, whatever it is, all because of Deshawn joining up, Tiny Hat CEO helping out, all you people that are members that pay the money to help me live, the people that call in, subscribe to the website, all that stuff. We're going to leave you guys with the, whatever you want to call it, the YouTube thumbnail for the Renegade Roast, which is Mondays at 9:15 Eastern, again with Jen and Tiny Hat, just because it has Trub Life, the real Trub Life that is, singing kind of our anthem here, FSU versus everybody. I'll let this whole song play for about 1,000 of y'all to listen to. We love you guys. Go Noles.
Hey, man. The FSU versus everybody. Let's go. First off, fuck Bama in the road tide. Fuck Tuscaloosa in every city that's close by. Bitch ass hillbilly redneck fans. Auburn almost caught y'all slacking like dress pants. Michigan trash, they ain't got a damn chance. Only Wolverine I respect is X-Man. Sheen ass coach got exposed, still in plays. Damn right I'm bitter, y'all sweeter than lemonade. Texas ain't shit to rave about. The Longhorns only good at a steakhouse. Had y'all like number 3, I was like, no way. Y'all lost to Oklahoma, which means y'all just okay. And Washington not important. Y'all be some ducks acting like that's vital as an organ. If we played y'all, we kick that ass Chuck Norris. Y'all stay boring. Only thing in that bitch is a forest. Let's set the record straight. Fuck your team if it ain't Florida State. 13-0, undefeated. Damn, what more it take? Denied our presence. That should be a crime. They jealous. Probably get in if the Gators wasn't filing. Miami better not say nada. Last time they won a championship, food stamps had paper dollars. Shout out to FAMU, that's fam too.